Hello and welcome to Bomb Squad, an In Dreams
Bomb
PlayStation podcast. My name is Andrew Muggleton and I am joined on this very, very special of days by my good friend Chris Sloan. How are you?
I'm awesome. Hype. The hype level is off the charts.
Oh my goodness. This is unprecedented for our podcast. We are live straight after the end of the PlayStation 5 event, which we just watched on YouTube. We've just had a couple of minutes to share some notes.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get right into it. There's no messing about here unless you wanted to say anything beforehand.
No messing about.
Fine.
Hashtag no
mess. No
Hashtag
messing
no
about.
mess.
Right. We're gonna start by starting at the end. Right, we saw this. There was a lot of talk about various games that are going to be showing off. Maybe a few little leaks here and there. A lot of people guessing at what we're going to see.
A lot of wrong guesses.
A lot of wrong guesses as well. Absolutely. But one of the things which I think was pretty unanimously thought was that we won't see the console. Pretty confident that most people are like, no, this is just going to be games. They're not going to talk about the console. But bam! Right at the end, just after the Horizon Forbidden West trailer, there was a bit of a lull. You had the developers' faces come up, and then there was just all these balls everywhere, just going in different shapes and stuff. And it went on at just a suspicious amount of time, and we're thinking, no, surely not the console. No, we can't see that now. Oh my god! And there it is. The glorious Wi-Fi router PlayStation 5.
Yeah, I thought they were... I just had this feeling they were going to do it. I mean, on Twitter over the last 2 days, it's just been like PlayStation 5 has just been trending the whole time. You know, everyone was just hyped for the reveal, and I was like, man, if they don't show the box, people are just going to be like... It's going to be like a flame war on the internet. People are going to be so annoyed. But like with all the little weird... Like after each game, the little the symbols coming up and in the weird graphics and that, I was like, man, something's gonna happen. I was like, they're gonna turn into it somehow, and then they kind of did.
Yeah,
like, yes.
Absolutely. So we have the PlayStation 5. We know what it looks like. It's obviously nothing like the dev kits, as we've spoken about previously on this.
Yep.
However, there are vents. We see the vents. They are right up in the center. It is just like the DualSense, it is a kind of sleek, kind of 80s futuristic spaceport kind of looking, white and black with blue lights on it. Really flipping the color scheme here with it. So very, very prominent white across it. What's your thoughts initially, Chris? How you feeling?
I think my initial thoughts when I saw it were just straight up damn. I think it looks pretty sexy, and I the sort of curve on the bottom for where the disc is kind of threw me a little bit. I was like, ooh, because it's almost gone for the kind of
big old little
symmetrical
chunky
thing. Yeah, and it's just got that big chunk on the side, and then obviously, one of my biggest surprises, I think, actually from the whole thing was when it went black after they showed it, and then they just bang, they were like, discless version, motherfuckers.
Yes,
and I was like,
bring them together.
Oh my gosh. And this thing is super... I actually thought there were two things that I thought it kind of looked like. One of them, have you seen the film Big Hero 6?
Yes, I have.
You know Baymax?
Yeah.
I felt this kind of looks like if a Baymax was a console. And then I also thought, and it's only just clicked to me. Right, you know Dead Space?
Yep.
What's the big alien thing that they all pray to?
Ooh.
That's kind of you have to destroy it. It's like the big bad guy, the Hive Mind. Is it called the Hive Mind?
Maybe.
No, it's got another name, I'm sure.
Unitology? Unitology is the religion.
Yeah, but there's a big thing that you go and fight. And it's kind of like a big monolith, but it's man, it's so annoying. The marker, that sounds right.
The marker, is it? I think
Let
it's
me
called
just
the
Google
marker.
it.
Yeah, it's got that kind of twisting...
Dead Space. Yeah. I was like, ooh, it kind of reminds me of... now I'm looking at it kind of not as well, but it's just the way...
I see why that invoked the image of it.
The way it's just standing there.
Continuing on this train of thought, I have. If you've also got Google open, then feel free to whilst listening to this, do this as well. It also gave me some real classic Alienware tower PC vibes. If you type in Alienware and then like tower, maybe like the third or fourth in, you get some proper kind of retro future kind of looks. Yeah, pretty cool though. I think the discless one with the symmetry of it looks really nice, really sleek.
Yeah, I mean, so how shocked are you that we had that like a discless one? It's just straight off. It's not like they're going to like release with a disc and then maybe like a year later it's a discless. I've got a theory about it, but go crack on.
Yeah, I this did not cross my mind once. Not a single time. All in my mind, I had, right, we've got the Blu-ray disc, the 4K Blu-ray player, and maybe we'll have like two models, one with the 825 hard drive and one with maybe 1650 hard drive or something, like a double storage version. Because that's quite commonplace in like computing and stuff like that. A discless drive, I mean, look, Xbox have done it with Xbox One S. There is a digital-only version of that. So there's precedent for consoles to do this, but I didn't anticipate it at all. So I'm very surprised, and I'm happy as well. I'm happy for the option of that because myself personally, I can't tell you the last time I've bought a physical disc for the PlayStation 4. So I've been all digital for a long time now. And I mean, I was talking to you earlier, like having a 4K Blu-ray is a really nice thing because I actually bought because the PlayStation 4 doesn't have it. I had my own 4K Blu-ray player, so I was thinking, oh right, I can ditch that. But now with this sleek discless one, it's very very tempting.
Do you think my kind of theory while I was watching? Obviously, we know we had the Xbox Series X was revealed ages ago. Obviously, we've still not got any like price on either of these things. My thought was, if we were saying, is there going to be a price difference between the disc version and the digital version?
Yeah.
If there is a price difference and it means that they can shave a bit of money off not putting the 4K Blu-ray in, could this be like Sony hedging their bets a little bit based on what the price might be with the Series X, so they can have one that the disc one maybe is the same as the Series X, and then they've got this digital version that comes out day one that is maybe the one that undercuts.
Yeah, I think there's a strong possibility that's the case. I don't know. Because I don't fully know like the real business in and outings of this, how long in advance do they need to set the price? Like I don't know whether they're waiting for Xbox to do it and then they'll just reactionary kind of change. Like it might well be the case. That may well be the case. But I'm not 100% sure if they're able to do that so on the fly.
Yeah.
But I do think this is a way of them having a cheaper cost than what people were expecting, because one of the thing which is this kind of is in a similar way to, so there was some people on the internet and most of the people that kind of know the architecture of how the PS5 is running, they're running the CPU and the GPU at this higher frequency, which basically boosts it up to be over 10 teraflops for the numbers which mean nothing until you actually put them into practice. But a lot of people are like, oh, they've only boosted these numbers just to get it over the 10 number. So like the optics look better by them doing this. It's not actually the case. That's not actually the case. However, it kind of feels like this might be the kind of case with this discless drive where they can go, right, everyone is expecting $499 for this, right? The discless one is $450 or £400 or dollars. So it's kind of you get to undercut the expectation, even though technically you're taking away from the product. You're still giving 90% of what people actually want from it. Does that kind of make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. It's what my thoughts are as well. And I think the cynical part of me when I first saw it was like, maybe they're not going to cost anything different. It's just going to be one of those things where like, the digital one is the future. This generation we're releasing both day one, but PS6, it will just be a digital. There won't be a disc. But I think the other thing as well is that don't Sony. I'm not very into the whole business side of it, but I swear, don't Sony get a bigger amount of the revenue from games when they're sold digitally as opposed to a disc. So
absolutely, yeah.
I guess they could even see if they take a little hit on the cost of selling the PS5 digital version. They could see it as actually, well, every single game that is sold on that console with no disc drive is going to give them a bigger percentage of the pie at the end anyway. So
absolutely, I don't know. Yeah. It means there's no of the kind of printing costs of the discs. There's no actual creation of the disc. I think there's extra then costs of the storefront that it's sold through. So Amazon Game, these kind of people. So there's a lot of extras that are then made up by it being digital. So they do make more money off a digital sale compared to a disc version of a game. And that's often why there's all the kind of price differences between games and stuff. And hopefully, as we transition into this more digital world, I understand obviously there's the whole second-hand market as well, which has obviously been super important for console gaming. But if we do move into a slightly more digital future, that we hopefully will either not see the price of games increase as they do often, kind of by £10 or £5 each generation, but maybe stay the same or even come down slightly. Who knows? Steam is every game on Steam that's the same on a console is cheaper on Steam, generally speaking. So who knows? But I think you're right. Maybe there's a chance. Maybe even they could undercut even more than just the cost of taking off the disc drive, because they're thinking, right, if we sell more of these, even if we're maybe the cost of the disc drive is $50, but we're going to take off $100 of the console, we're going to make that back up through these digital sales.
I guess the other thing as well, we don't know, there could be other disparities between these two as well. I guess we don't really know yet because nothing's been announced, but I'm guessing that they're the same thing, just one without a disc drive.
Absolutely. What did they name it?
It was digital the digital edition, yeah.
Digital edition, all digital discless version of the console. Yeah, I'd be very surprised if there was any other difference other than the disc drive. And one thing I was just going to say about the actual design, after looking at it for quite a bit now, I really like. There's a shot of it lying down. I prefer it standing up the way they're marketing it. But the shot of it lying down, you can see that the white is kind of just a flat base with a little curve at the edge. But I really like how the black part of it curves away. And then it almost curves away like too early from it. And there's this kind of extra bit of the white. Like it's kind of like a sandwich and the filling isn't big enough. I really like that kind of overhang.
I like the texture of that white bit when they showed when they zoomed in the video as well. Like very cool.
It's kind of like the thumbstick texture almost. For the controller, kind of like that. Yeah. Some really nice little embossing. Also, the main PlayStation logo on the top, I think, is cut out. Is indented, isn't it? Really nice. On the front, we've got a USB-A, so it'll be a USB 3 port there, and a USB-C port. And then you've got your power button and your disc button for the one with the disc drive. We haven't seen the back of it yet. So
interesting.
What's going to be on the back there? Assuming, I imagine they're going to be doing a similar kind of thing to the Series X, where there'll be a port, like a hole for you putting in your extra drive. If you want to add an extra hard drive, they've said you can do it.
Oh, they've said that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. In Mark Cerny's thing, he said you are able to add additional storage. Via an M.2 NVMe SSD. Whether that might involve actually maybe taking off the front plate or something like that, or whether they're going to have like a drive in it. I imagine that they'll have like a square opening that you can pop your drive in and out, or something along those lines.
I think the back will look pretty like.
I'm expecting like a power, ports, HDMI, like Ethernet.
Not the sort of thing that you want to like show off in like a sexy, 2-minute video at the end of a big conference. So I can understand not.
I have a feeling the reason why they haven't is because of that expansion port. Because there's no reason why not to just show an HDMI Ethernet power thing. I think that there's maybe something at play there. I'd like it if it was the idea that you had a bracket which is in there, like plugged in there, and you pull out the bracket and then you insert your drive and put it in there. That would be quite nice. But maybe they're still confirming that or don't want to show it yet. But yeah, I think that's most most of the details about the actual console. There was a few accessories shown off as well. So we had the DualSense charging stands where you can put two of them together. It looks like it'll either... I couldn't work out. I think it looks like it's got a little USB-C, but you can't quite see actually whether it's actually like some sort of maybe wireless charger there involved. But I'm pretty sure it will just plug into a USB-C plug. You can't quite see what's in the groove.
Yeah, I'm trying to just look now.
Obviously, all very in the similar stylings, all strongly white with them black accents. You've got the new headset, which is called the Pulse 3D wireless headset. I'm sure they'll be pushing that quite a lot with this whole audio push they're going to be going on. You've got a new HD camera, which can kind of flip out and clip onto the back of a TV, and a media remote, which was so random. I wonder if that's a hint at something more about the console, but it seems like a pretty odd.
It's just like there's like 4 buttons on the bottom with no marker. I'm like, what are these buttons for?
Yeah, absolutely. Pretty strange. And in the accessory pictures, there's another USB dongle, which for the previous Pulse headphones, you've always had to stick that in, and that's how it does its wireless. So it looks as though they're continuing that trend, which it's a shame not to see it go fully wireless, but who knows?
I'm just I think you are as well, but I'm on the IGN website looking at all the pictures, the nice, cool pictures they've got of everything. And there's a little there's like a poll at the bottom. Can you see it?
Yes.
It just says, "Do you like the PS5 console design?" So I clicked, "I like it," because I'm a fanboy, and
I've done that.
There was 7.9% of people said, "I don't care."
Yeah.
Like, why would you press on it? What's wrong with you?
73% say I like it.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah, I was a bit sort of like when I saw it, because it's so sort of out there.
It's out there, absolutely.
It is, because I think we said the same thing with the Xbox Series X. It is pretty like whoa. And I like the design of the Series X, but this is like really like sort of like in your face, like
this
look
is
at my
a statement.
curves. Yeah,
this is like a statement piece. This is something you don't, if you can, you don't hide it in your media box. You kind of have it on show. Whereas the Series X, absolutely, it's definitely a kind of in quotes classy looking device.
Yeah,
but ultimately speaking, it's a black box.
It's there to like blend in with your other stuff you got there.
This is a statement in your living room. And
it's a conversation starter for sure.
Absolutely. But I can't get out of my mind. I think I feel like it's like Virgin Media or something have Wi-Fi routers which are very similar to this, very similar looking. Just was nice.
I watched the Ian Hink from the Easy Allies.
Easy Allies.
His comment was absolutely like spot on. He was like, "It's the first console that comes with labia." I thought that was just absolutely perfect.
Oh, that is very good. The more I look at it, I keep scrolling through these photos, the more I'm really enjoying what I'm looking at.
Yeah, it's definitely growing on me the more I look at it as well.
This one of it lying down, I think the only reason I keep looking at it is because you see it from a different angle, and it's kind of making me feel like a book almost.
Yeah.
Kind of like with the
yeah, I get you. It's like pages. Someone's sort of like flipped up one of the corners of the book and is
just peeking inside this beast inside.
I'm worried about the dust, man. I'm worried about the dust.
True.
You think about the dust much?
I try to not.
Yeah.
There seems to be as if you're listening, if you have a PlayStation, you may know they're kind of infamous for not being that great at keeping themselves cool, and then because of that, their fans going into absolute jet level noises. There's been a lot of talk coming up to this about their cooling system for this, and you can see that from the vents in it and stuff. But I'm really hoping they've really sorted some ingenious kind of cooling system into this to avoid the levels of noise, because it can be really distracting when playing a game. It can be really annoying.
Yeah.
And Mark Sony even mentioned it in his PS5 like deep dive. He said, "Oh, we haven't been great at doing this, but we think we've got a really great system here." So proof will be in the pudding, but fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, I have to make sure that my console is just like when we're recording this podcast, I have to make sure my console is totally off, like not even just sort of sat there idle, because just its general noise is like, and it's I've got a Pro. I can't imagine what a standard PS4 might sound like these days.
Absolutely, no, for sure. Well, I think that's pretty much everything for the console. Is there anything else you can think of?
Well, I just wondered, obviously, because we're going to talk about, there's I think you said to me earlier, there's 26 games. And now, either announced or stuff that we'd maybe heard, rumors of maybe. But I just wanted very quickly, before we do that, maybe we do that in a second. Do you want? Because obviously there's some stuff that they just didn't talk about at all. Because there were loads of games. They didn't. But I guess one of the big things was or something that people were talking about, and I think we knew it wasn't going to come up, but like the backwards compatibility stuff, because obviously we're seeing all these games that we're going to be able to play. A lot of the stuff that was announced was for actually like this year, like the end of this year.
Holiday 2020.
But it's going to be interesting because obviously one thing that Xbox are absolutely like nailing it with at the moment is backwards compatibility. What's the subscription?
Games Pass.
Games Pass. I was going to say Series Pass, but that doesn't sound right. Yeah, Games Pass and stuff like that. Just absolutely, all these games from generations ago that you're going to be able to play like day one on the Series X. And it's one thing that's kind of making me a little bit nervous. And a lot of people are, because they've not really come out and said anything concrete at all. And obviously we weren't going to see anything tonight at a reveal event, but what are your thoughts on that?
So I've been over the last several, probably the last year, becoming really, really kind of like addicted to trying to find out as much information as I can with this. So following lots of different sources and following Digital Foundry over at Eurogamer really closely, because those guys are some proper geeks, and they really know what they're talking about. And I also watched another thing with this other game engine guy who did a really good kind of analysis on Mark Cerny's talk. And as far as I'm aware, from everything I've kind of read and watched, they are expecting that at launch, or pretty much at launch, as they kind of say, the vast majority of the 4,000 games on PS4 will be playable. And that is partly because what the PlayStation 5 can do is basically take itself down to the level of the PS4, so it kind of like acts like it's a PS4. The issue comes in with the SSD because that's just so different. But as far as they're aware, I think the expectation is that pretty much any big game, any major release game that you've played on your PS4 will work on the PS5, at least the same as it worked on the PS4. However, the anticipation is that naturally some of the games will be able to just take advantage of the extra power, so maybe have a higher frame rate or bump up the resolution a bit, and that hopefully they should also be able to take advantage of the SSD straight away. So you should see loadings come down, maybe not to the instant speed that we'll be seeing in the PS5, but hopefully we will get some kind of improvement compared to the existing kind of way the PS4 works. So I think for PS4, I honestly don't think there's going to be anything to be concerned about for if you've got a library of PS4 games that you've bought on PSN. I don't think there's going to be any concern with plugging your PS5 and then being able to download that game and enjoy it and play that game. What they haven't said anything about is anything further back than that. PS3, PS2, PS1. That's where the Xbox kind of backwards compatibility really shines, is being able to play Xbox One and Xbox 360 games. Xbox, original Xbox and Xbox 360 games as well.
Yeah.
So that's where I think there's the big difference, and I don't know if Sony really, and this might sound harsh, care about trying to get PS1, 2, and 3 games kind of working on it. I think it feels to me like they're kind of like the PS4 moved into a new architecture, which this is basically just building on it in terms of the insides of it. So it's naturally much easier to play those games. Those other consoles are completely different, and I just don't think they want to put all the resources into making that work, because I don't know, as much as I think it would make a good headline, it is a pro-consumer decision. I don't really know how much benefit they would see out of it compared to a good headline saying, oh, you can play your PS2 games on it.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people will really actually make that feel like, oh, now I'm going to get PS5 because of that. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, no, it totally does. Yeah.
So I think there's definitely still a few concerns, because they have still been very vague with it, and they've said almost all of, or the vast majority of, and those kind of terminology. But Mark Cerny seemed pretty bullish and pretty confident in when he was talking about it, and so far he seems like a pretty good bet to believe when he says something. He doesn't seem too PR speaky. So yeah, I'm feeling fairly confident with at least looking at your PS4 catalog. I think your library you've built up, that's going to be there, ready to go, and hopefully, and I think the anticipation would be that those games will run better as well.
Yeah.
It won't just be the case, although it can default back to that.
Cool.
Yeah, so that's my little kind of spiel about all of that, because again, as you said, it's not something they mentioned, and it is something which people still feel confused about, and it's because they have been pretty vague with it. But I think when you put all of those vague statements back together, it gives a little bit of a clearer picture with it all. Obviously nothing mentioned on there, nothing mentioned on the price, the date,
no date,
doubling down on the holiday 20 for everything. So it's definitely coming this year. That's an absolute guarantee. I did see someone, I can't remember who it was, someone from Sony either tweet or reply or give an interview saying they're feeling very confident with their supply chain. So although there's been some talk about them being quite limited in supply, I don't think it's going to be quite the rush of impossible to find a pre-order when you load it 1 minute after the pre-orders go live. I think, as far as it sounds like, I think we'll be okay. Maybe it'll be if you order the next day after the pre-orders to go live. Maybe then you're going to wait a couple of weeks and maybe be a bit backlogged. But I think if you get there when it goes live, I think you'll be okay.
Cool.
With that. A couple of other things that weren't mentioned.
Oh, yeah, go on.
A couple of other things. Games. Call of Duty.
Yeah, that was going to be like a dead cert, wasn't it? That was like a...
Yeah, they've got the exclusivity with them for like the marketing and exclusive DLC and things like that. So, big surprise that wasn't there. I was surprised Crash Bandicoot wasn't there, because just today a load of new merch came out with Crash Bandicoot characters, like merch that went on a website and then got taken down, and it's merch with characters that we've never seen before in the Crash universe. So it's kind of like, huh, this is weird. But maybe that's again in next week or 2 days time.
Yeah, does Activision own?
Yeah, they
so
do.
Maybe they, because obviously Call of Duty as well. Like maybe they're going to do their own.
Yeah, maybe have their own one, have their own little event or something. Yeah. Silent Hill, not mentioned. So strongly rumored for the last year. It's been rumored that Sony are cooking up some exclusive deal with them. Again, maybe that is just not quite ready to show, not quite ready to put into play. But those rumors persist, so I'm sure that we will see it, whether it's exclusive or not. I'm sure it'll be coming very soon. And also Warner Brothers, Batman was a couple of rumors flying about seeing that in it, but I think to no avail. There must have been fakes.
Any gaming event at the moment, it's just like, oh, Rocksteady are there. Oh, Warner Studio, Batman games coming, and it's all it's never gonna happen, guys. Like, I've given up hope now. It's not happening.
I do think over this summer, because as we've mentioned previously on this about the Summer Games Fest, so there's more things happening. I think later tonight, or even tomorrow or something. So there's things happening almost every day now for the next 4 to 6 weeks.
Nice.
So I do anticipate we'll see Warner Brothers with that Batman game over the course of this summer. I would be very surprised if we don't.
I think the other cool thing just to say as well is that, like, you know, Xbox had their event. They obviously showed the console a long time ago, but then they had a third-party event, and where, you know, like we talked about it on this podcast, and we said it was just kind of dire, and there was no gameplay shown. It was Assassin's Creed Valhalla was there, whereas we actually saw a lot of games kind of like being played in this.
Yeah, we saw a lot of in-engine stuff, and there was a lot of in-engine cutscenes and stuff, but it felt like you were seeing the game, and there was also, as you say, a lot of gameplay.
Yeah, so I think that's something that is definitely a big positive from it. I think probably they would have looked at the backlash from the Xbox event and said, okay, we need to get some actual. We need to show what the console can do.
Absolutely, and I think if we just give a quick comment on how we felt about the event, and then we'll dive straight into the games and the order of them. I was really impressed with the it was long. It was like 70 odd minutes long, but the brevity of it it was going at a pace. There was game after game after game, then a little interview with a head of Guerrilla or kind of like that, and then it was back to game after game after game with only tiny little like PlayStation logos in between it. So it's pretty non-stop with shooting out games at you, and I really liked the breadth of games that you saw. There was huge AAA games, there was tiny indie games, there was everything in there. So yeah, I was very impressed with the event as a whole. There wasn't any awkward people talking. It was just a few little clips, and that's it.
Yeah, it almost worked kind of in their favor doing it without having like a live stage and someone talking for 5 minutes. And they didn't go the route of, I mean, they had people talking, but it wasn't like they had someone sat there interviewing someone else and bringing them into a Zoom call or whatever, like, and just the you know, the awkward stuff in between, like we're having now on Skype that we're using when we can't talk over each other properly. It's funny you say that though, because actually before we jump into the games, I want to test you. I've brought a little game for us to not for me to play. I'm just gonna quiz you basically, because you obviously mentioned how much stuff and how many games, 26 games or something this whole event got. What I did was I went to the PS4 reveal event. Okay, so this event happened. You're gonna have to cast your mind back to the 21st of February 2013.
I'm gonna be a big Dobby down on you and say that I think 3 or 4 days ago.
Oh no! Did you watch it?
The entire event with Digital Foundry commenting on top of it.
That's fine. We can still play this game.
We'll see. I might forget things.
So what I did was I skipped through it all and I picked out and I counted, like, these aren't all games, by the way. I just picked out 14 things that happened in the event, and there were lots of there was lots of stuff and there's lots of cool stuff in there, but there was a lot of weird things and people, like, especially after watching that event, the PS5 event, where it was just kind of no weird stuff, no talking in between. It was just like game. Going back and having a look at the PS4, it was over 2 hours. So what I did was I wrote down 14 things that happened in the event. I was gonna get you before I realised that you literally just watched it like a couple of days ago, like a massive nerd. I was gonna see if you could get like 5 things that happened in it. But I feel like you're gonna be able to do that quite easily. So what I want you to do is just run me through and see if you can get all 14 things that I have written down here. That happened in the PS4 reveal event. Okay. I was gonna give this game a funny name. It was gonna be something about like revealing yourself or something like that. But
I won't be able to do the exact order because I've got the beginning of it's a bit muddly in my face. But we've got Nate Fox's infamous Second Son infamous intro to it as well about surveillance.
It's crazy.
And his apparent. I didn't realize, but they were saying on Digital Foundry that it's because his auto cue was really slow, so that's why there's these long pauses, because his auto cue wasn't actually moving. So it is part of him being dramatic, but it's also he like the reason why some of the waits are so long is that there was nothing on the screen.
Nice. I've got that there.
So
definitely.
was that infamous. Killzone Shadow Falls reveal. Pretty spectacular thing, actually. Still looks great today, that introduction.
Yeah.
A lot of talk of second screen stuff. So using the Vita for remote play.
Yeah, I didn't write that down, but yeah, because I just thought.
Okay, fine. Yeah. What else have we got? This is bad. I'm blanking. There was a long introduction talking about like the history of, or the kind of what PlayStation means. And then they run through some of the specs. So they talk about it having 8 gigabytes of GDDR5 RAM. Specs? Is there anything about that?
No, I've not put anything down about 6. I've got 7 more games that you haven't mentioned, and that means that's 9. So I've got 5 other just like things that happened. Some good memes.
We have got Knack
opening it up, and that's the first thing. That's the first game show.
Yeah. And the frame rate on that demo is so poor. It's like tearing all over the place as well. And that actually, Knack then later on has a remote play session with Mark Cerny playing and having a camera over his shoulder watching the Vita do remote play of Knack, which is fun. What else have we got? Oh boy. Oh, Drive Club.
Yeah, man.
Drive Club, very impressive looking. We didn't have the order, did we?
No
order there. What else was there?
So four actual games, and then if there's a few other like
4 more games.
Yeah, and then a few weird things.
I know. I definitely know one of them. It finished with Destiny.
Yeah, it did.
And a really awkward bit of 3 of the guys, Martin McDonnell and the composer and 2 of the other guys.
They were just sort of
standing
stood there
with their like hands by their like trousers, like on their side, like really awkward. The 3 of them kind of making like an A pose. We also would have had. I'm trying to think of Sony Studios.
I think there's one big third party game that you've not. That I don't think was revealed there, but they had a big thing there. Maybe it was.
Was it Square Enix?
Nope. But Square Enix are 2 of my points that you haven't got yet.
Yeah, they did come and do something, didn't they?
They did 2 things.
Oh, did they do the Agnes Prophecy tech demo?
So that weird. So what I wrote down was Square Enix showed some shit that was like nothing.
It was just a tech demo. I think it was originally it's done to show off the Luminous engine, which then was only used in Final Fantasy 15. Wasn't ever used.
Do you remember what the other thing Square Enix did just after the Luminous demo?
It wasn't a Please Be Excited.
It was Please Be Excited for E3.
Oh, it was. It was Please Be Excited for E3.
And I think E3 they announced Final Fantasy 15.
Right. Yep. That makes sense. Yeah. The rebranding of it. It's cool. Got those.
You've got 3 more games. I'm trying to think how to like give you a clue about these.
Yeah.
One of them was a.
Are they Sony Studios?
Nope. No, none of them are.
No.
Which is weird. Real lack of.
We had an Unreal Engine 4 demo.
Yeah, I didn't write that. That bored me.
Fine.
One of them was a first time that Sony had worked with this rather large company bringing a game to PlayStation. A game that was already out on PC. Do you remember? Dude came out all casual, and then he was like, "Hey, we're bringing Diablo 3 to PlayStation."
Oh yes, like Chris Metzen.
Yeah, he just comes out all like casual, like just didn't give a shit, did he?
Yeah, good shout. I wasn't thinking of that because all they do is they show the logo and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
They don't even show any gameplay.
2 more games. One of them is a terrible game with no graphics.
The Witness.
Yeah, man. The Witness was there.
Because Thingy Bobby comes out, doesn't he? Jonathan Blow. Yeah. He talks for ages in that.
There's one more game.
Another indie game?
No, definitely big game. Big game.
Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Watch Dogs.
Because I think was this the one where it looked really good, and then, or was this the one where it started to look bad?
Yeah, so it was E3 before was the first trailer. The E3 before because we didn't actually have. It was the very first next gen reveal game.
Yeah,
because it was in the E3 of
Yeah.
2012, and it looked sensational. And I was listening back to the Digital Foundry guys, and they were like, "We think they got a bit of a hard deal with this because one of the big differences is that there's actually quite a big weather change in it." And the second showing, which is the one that everyone riled on, it's overcast, and that's like a notoriously impossible thing to do in games and make look good. Whereas if it's sunny or if it's raining, it's quite easy to make it look interesting. But infamous for its downgrade in graphics. And did you have any other things you wrote down, or was that
the other ones? Two of them are where people from companies came out and spoke and showed stuff. And then another one is
Dreams. Dreams came out.
Yeah,
Dreams
but
did their weird musician.
I don't think it was called Dreams.
It wasn't. It was called
Media Molecule. Just came out.
Did it have a project something?
Yeah, I may have done. I was sort of skipping through.
Maybe. Yeah, they came out and did their like dancing people with the Move controllers, and it was a cool little overview. And then another person came out, you say?
Yeah, another dude came out. The thing that I wrote down was this person came out and pissed about for a bit.
Pissed about?
Who might come out on stage and just piss about and sort of chat about a load of rubbish and then saunter off?
The Gaikai guy?
No, but Gaikai was my special bonus answer. You got it.
Nice.
Well done.
Yeah.
So you've only got this one more thing.
Yeah,
Oh no, you've got two more things.
They talk about a thing there with which was such a cool idea in being able to jump into someone else's game when you're watching them play it on like it's Ustream, I think, back there. You could then jump into their game without having to download it. Such a cool concept. Two other things.
One of them was a face demo.
Oh yes, Quantic Dreams with the wizard guy.
Yeah, David Cage just came out and talked some French.
Yeah,
like showed an old man's face
and had some weird like shooting words above him, like really old school looking.
Right, there's one more thing, which is it's a game that was announced in the PS4 reveal.
Oh damn! A game was announced.
It's a game that you won't have played.
I won't.
Yeah, well, no one's played. Capcom.
Oh, because it never deep down. Man, that game had some atmosphere. That trailer is so cool.
It looked wicked. I'm just on the Wikipedia page
and it looked visually outrageous. I think they did something like renew the trademark to it, so it's still not technically.
Yeah, well, I'm just looking now. So, Deep Down working title is an upcoming single multiplayer co-op dungeon crawler announced by Capcom for PS4.
Initially, when we saw Demon Souls in this, I thought, Deep Down, no way! And then
June 2018, Capcom extended the trademark for the game, and then during an interview with Eurogamer in November 2019, which was supposed to be focused on Street Fighter 5. Ono responded to a mention of Deep Down, saying that despite its long absence, the game has not been completely given up on.
Madness. I love
7.5 years ago.
It's going to turn into The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
It's like outrageously long development time, and then when it does show back up, everyone will be like, "Oh, the cult classic Deep Down from that trailer."
I hope they call it Deep Down working title as well.
It'd be amazing.
Well, that was my reveal yourself game, which you kind of ruined.
I took a bit of the I kind of took a bit of the wind out your sails.
Yeah, but it was so funny watching that, comparing those two events. Like,
yeah, night and day in the effectiveness of them. And I think that's why Sony have done what they've done this time around. They did the Mark Cerny GDC stand-in talk. They've done Wired articles because it cuts out all of that fat from that kind of introduction presentation where you've got them on stage talking for 30 minutes just about the architecture of the console, which is good to know. But I think you can do that in a less showy type of way.
Yeah, and I think if you're in a big auditorium with people who are journalists and people who are like that, then a lot of them are actually there looking for like the nerdy shit and stuff. But when you're streaming it on YouTube, like the vast majority of people that are watching it are probably not going to be the ones that you're going to sit there and want to like talk out for ages.
Yeah,
like.
That's a really good point. Really, really good point. And I think that serves the narrative of why it's been so different with this. Right.
Let's talk about games.
Let's talk about games. Right. We're gonna go through the order of it. So the event kicked off, and there was like quite a nice little montage of history of PlayStation, and then most of it about PS4 kind of games, and then we kick off with the biggest game.
I mean, 17th of September,
GTA
17th
5.
of September 2013. This game came out on PS3.
Yeah. So, and this is meant to come out on 2021. It's coming out, not 2020. It's coming out.
Insane.
So the game lives on. Will it ever die? Probably not.
The only thing that can kill it is GTA 6.
Like
the only thing that can kill that game is GTA 6.
Yeah. Which I think is expected something like 2023 or 2024.
Yeah.
Because there was Take-Two did their projections of marketing. And it all goes kind of quiet, little bumps here and there. And then suddenly in 2023, 2024, it suddenly jumps up, like their marketing budget goes mad.
Nice.
So it's like, I wonder what's happening then. But yeah, GTA 5, it continues. I think it's sold 150 million. So now we get another 30 million on PS5 sales. So yeah, it keeps on going. And GTA Online will be there, obviously.
For free.
For free. I think we can glaze over.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about GTA 5 anymore.
Yeah. Then Jim Ryan came out and said, please be excited for PS5.
Please be excited.
And everything here was captured from a PS5. So we start, boom, kind of explosion-y, crackling stuff. And it's Spider-Man. Chris, talk to me about this.
Yeah. It's Miles Morales, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, obviously big character in the game. So we didn't really get a lot from this. It was just kind of, we saw him like swinging about a fair bit. It doesn't look to me like this is a new game. I think this is kind of like the best way that I could think in my head with this was, do you remember we had Infamous Second Son and then we got Infamous First Light, where it was kind of like an add-on that kind of stood alone as well. I'm guessing it's going to be that sort of deal.
Yeah, I think it is going to be a standalone.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Game. Yeah, because I saw something, even in the PlayStation thing here for the YouTube thing, revealing Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, a new adventure from Insomniac Games coming to PlayStation 5, and I've seen a few websites describe it as the sequel to Spider-Man.
Oh, wow!
So, I don't think
it's gonna be a full. I'm not expecting a full like 20-hour game.
No,
I'm expecting like 5 hours.
I'm not
of game.
either.
I don't know about you.
Oh,
yeah,
5 hours.
I'm expecting like.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm not expecting it to be huge, but maybe I'm totally wrong. But just seems quite.
Yeah,
it does seem quite soon.
Know.
We were saying before, like I was hoping for maybe like a Spider-Man 2 tease or something, but but I thought it was too early for a full game.
You're totally right in that, definitely. I think this could be a like let's take Spider-Man PS4 and apply the new technology to that existing location to show off the PS5 kind of and what we've got with this story, kind of moving the story along as well. And then maybe in 2 years' time we get Spider-Man 2 and maybe you're playing as both Miles and
or even like, because the thing is they set a lot of stuff up in the story for Peter and like stuff that's specifically about Peter and like his friends. So I mean, how cool would it be if like they could pass off this to either another team in Insomniac or another Sony studio and have like a Miles Morales Spider-Man series as well as. I mean, that'd be kind of cool having two Spider-Man series at the same time.
Yeah,
but it just seems a bit early to like pass the torch off to Miles, like storytelling.
Yeah, I think. But maybe that's the reason for it. Maybe this is this kind of maybe like 5 or 6 hour story, kind of like the old school expansion pack type things of games. This is introducing him his abilities and stuff, and then you have Spider-Man 2, but it's actually 2 because you're 2 characters in it, and you play as the 2 of them, and then you've had your introduction to Miles as well, something like that maybe. Historically speaking, in the comic books or in the fiction of Spider-Man, does Miles have any abilities?
Well, like other than Spidey,
was that a really loaded questions? Like Spider-Man obviously has his Spidey sense and can walk on stuff, and
I don't. I've got to be honest. I don't know. Spider-Man's not really like my my big knowledge base.
Fair enough. Because I've just gone through I'm just going through the trailer, and you can kind of see him. He's using spider webbing stuff, but he's also got some like kind of almost
electric-y stuff.
Yeah, like he just went invisible almost, and then smashed into the ground, and there was a load of sparks, and yeah, he just his arms just lit up as well, like with electric. So maybe he's a bit gadgety or something as well.
Maybe,
kind of with
maybe.
it.
Interesting.
Who knows? So that is holiday 2020 as well. So
I'm guessing if it said holiday 2020 on the thing, I'm guessing that's launch.
That means it's launch. Absolutely, I think that's an absolute guarantee. Launch game. Well, a great game.
It's gonna sell like
nice,
absolute hotcakes as well. That game. It's gonna be huge.
Absolutely. Then we move on to Polyphony with GT7, Gran Turismo 7 revealed, and it was quite nice to see them kind of say, right, Gran Turismo's back, and we're bringing it back to the campaign of the game, because GT Sport was much more focused on this kind of online racing platform. You could do some kind of single player stuff, but it didn't really have a campaign as per such. So it's nice to see a proper full new entry in the series. Looks great, sounded great. Can't wait to do a 24-hour.
I was thinking watching it. I was like, man, I don't know. I've really been missing GT. Like, I haven't played Gran Turismo since 5. And I was thinking, man, it'd be cool to get a 24-hour Le Mans race going again.
And you know, one, it's gonna look good. It's gonna be a good showcase. But GT's always been something which has been a bit of a funny bag with the sound of the game, but they're pushing sound so hard in this console. I've got to feel that this is the trailer sounded good in my headphones when I just listened to it. But we'll have to do a 24-hour live stream on Twitch. No.
Yeah,
absolutely. 24-hour Le Mans. We've done it before. We've done it twice. We've done it 3 times, I think. Haven't we?
I think we've done it twice.
Okay, maybe not 3. Done it twice at least. Both times we won. And no release date on that.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're historically quite a slow team, so I would expect maybe 2021, maybe 22. But I would have thought 2020.
Yeah, I hopefully 2021.
GT Sport's been out for a long time now, and they've been slowing down on their updates on it, so I think they'll be good to go with it. Next up then, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. I thought this was one of the best intro reveal showings of the.
I think it was my favorite or second favorite like game showed off for sure. This looked absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Visually looked fantastic. Again, I was listening on a speaker. They said you should listen with headphones, but I listened to with our kind of TV and stuff. I've gone back through a couple of them, and I don't know if it's just placebo effect, but I can definitely, it does feel like they're kind of pushing that more. There's more stuff happening and more depth to everything, but it sounded great, looked so good. Gameplay looked really kinetic and wild. And fun.
I'm interested to see how the kind of like warping around, how that how that will build up through the game, because it just looks unbelievable. I was texting you during it, and I was like, it kind of it seemed like a big like show off, like this is what we can do. You know, you can just be in a different place, different world like that, and I was like, damn.
And I think that is the thing. That is the reason why I've been getting so excited for the PS5 and this SSD in it, this ridiculously fast thing, is that this is the kind of change that we can see in a game and have happen. Whereas This, you cannot do that in an existing console, and it's so exciting to see this come to fruition, and then see hopefully what other developers will be doing with it as well. It seemed like a great showcase for what the PlayStation 5 can do without being like, ooh, super hyper realistic. But yeah, great looking, looks like a lot of fun. And the female Ratchet, whoever she is,
alternate reality or something, I don't know. Crazy.
Yeah, I think so. I think that maybe it's going to be something like that. Yeah, very excited for that. No date, I think, is as well. But I expect that probably 2021, maybe.
Insomniac just carrying the
maybe
show.
Then it. Yeah, absolutely. They've been putting more of their resources into getting that Spider-Man one out for the launch.
Yeah.
So then maybe we'll get this next year. That would be a hell of a triple year if they could do Miles Morales, Ratchet and Clank, and then Spider-Man 2 in 3 years.
That would be amazing. That would be so cool.
That would be cool. They're a massive team, so it's possible. Moving swiftly on. Wow, this was a surprise. Project Athia, Square Enix, Luminous Studio, a PS5 exclusive.
Crazy.
This came out of nowhere. I think there were a few rumors of Final Fantasy 16 being floated around.
Yeah, I was like, is this? But then it looked way too dark.
Yeah, absolutely. The monsters kind of looked a bit kind of Bloodborne-y, Dark Souls-y kind of, and kind of crazy looking. Bit of platforming. This a female character jumping around. Her cape kind of looked like the Final Fantasy 15 Noctis's cape with his like long cape. Really beautiful looking. I think that said 2022 on it. I think.
Okay.
I think at the end it flashes up coming 2022. What it is, who knows? But it was a strong visual in my book. Then, did you have anything?
No. I sort of made a shortened list, but we've hit everything on my list so far. But I think we start to diverge a bit in terms of what I gonna.
Yeah, this is where we get into some more smaller kind of indie style games. So first up was then Stray.
Yeah, the weird cat game.
Which, yeah. So I think I can't quite remember the studio that's doing it, but it started off.
It's published
like,
by Annapurna,
like
but I can't remember the studio.
That's yeah. It kind of looked like Chappie with the kind of robot, and then Blue 12 is the studio. I don't know who they are, but and then I think the idea is that you're a cat and you're going around this kind of futuristic robot-driven world. Rip humans on the wall there. So yeah, obviously robots are taking over now. And you're a cat. I mean, we all love cats, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, I did like it. It sort of got up at the end and it gave a little meow to the camera. I thought that's cute. Hopefully there's a button that I can
absolutely
that I can meow like on command.
Yes. Yeah. That would be ideal. So that was a nice little sidestep there with something a bit different. And then bam, PlayStation Studios again. And this was the return of Housemarque.
Oh yeah.
Who started the PS4 generation with Resogun, which was free on PS Plus, one of the landmark PS4 games. And then they made a couple of other games. I think Matterfall was one. Can't remember the names of the others, but they've always been this kind of twin sticky shooter type of gameplay. This is a huge departure. You're kind of stuck in like a time loop. You're what's the space person?
Astronaut.
An astronaut landing on a planet and then dying, and then you wake up and you crash, you land on the planet, and then you learn something and die, and it repeats. It's that kind of repeating death loop. Some really crazy looking monsters in this game. Some wild looking environments, and then just toward the end I think you get a bit of actual gameplay, and it looks as though it's, I think, third person.
It was third
third person. Looking interesting.
You look really cool.
definitely piqued my interest. Yeah. It as I said, kind of really big departure for them, and I quite like that idea of those kind of games where you die quite a lot, but you learn everything, something new every single time. So you're like, right, I remember that's there, so I'm not going to walk over there because I'm going to die straight away. So yeah, certainly an interesting looking game for sure, and good looking as well. They've always been quite good with their games in the graphics department. So that was Returnal. Then, oh boy, Sumo Digital pops up on the screen, and it's Sackboy.
Yeah, it looks so fun. It looks just awesome.
Yeah, it's very different from your normal Little Big Planet, which was very much just a kind of 2.5D plane going from left to right. This is a bit more 3-dimensional in the levels. Looks a lot of fun. Looks very cute. Very interesting name.
Sackboy, a big adventure.
Sackboy, a big adventure. Not linking it to Little Big Planet anymore. So is that brand dead? Maybe,
I don't know.
Are they maybe trying to bring back a mascot-y type way? So you've got Ratchet back, you've got Sackboy.
Yeah, potentially. It's just that kind of like 3D platformer. Like, I don't think if you put Little Big Planet on the name, you might expect some kind of like level creation.
That's a good point.
Like
yeah, I suppose maybe they're obviously Dreams is now basically that. So maybe they're thinking kind of like, let's strip away the Little Big Planet creation part, because that's what Dreams is now doing. We don't want to kind of trod on their steps, their feet almost. So yeah, that's coming. Looking forward to that. Very cute. Then we had a not my cup of tea game, Destruction All Stars.
Yeah.
Which kind of looked like this really weird mashup of what is it?
Like Rocket League. Yeah.
Okay, Rocket League. That's what I'm looking for. Rocket League. A bit of like Twisted Metal with kind of like vehicle combat, and then almost like Fortnite-esque kind of like running about third person.
It kind of strikes
style.
to me of like the let's make an esport game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I didn't really understand what was
it had
going
a fun vibe to it, but it's I agree. Not our cup of tea, I don't think. Next up, then we have, this was quite interesting, I think, from memory. I just need to check it. Yeah, Kenna, Bridge of Spirits.
Yeah, I wrote this one down.
This was the one. It kind of looked like a DreamWorks thing with this little girl and the little black furry.
Yeah.
Little
by Ember's Lab.
Really, yes, yeah, really strong visual. And then because I was worried at first it was just going to be a CGI trailer, and then it got to actual gameplay, and again it still looked like really cool.
This was a bit of a surprise one actually. I think I was looking down my list thinking what would be like my top 3, and I think this might be like my number 3 or maybe my number 4 thing, just because it was a bit of a surprise as well. As to what we saw.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks fun. Looks nice. I reckon it's gonna. There'll be some emotional high, and then it'll be a feel good feeling towards the end.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, looking good. I don't think we didn't get a release date. I don't think, but it is a console exclusive to PS5. Yeah. So looking forward to that for sure. Next, this was a slightly weird one, but I don't really know my thoughts on it. Goodbye Volcano High, which was the furries one.
The dinosaur furries.
Yeah, pretty strange. It's described as a cinematic narrative adventure.
I'll tell you what vibes I got from it. What was that game that you played ages ago that was like Oxenfree. Definitely got those sort of vibes.
Yeah. Oxenfree. I don't know if you've ever seen any screens from Night in the Woods, which is like a black cat, kind of cut out, almost paper.
No, I don't think so.
That is really strong vibes from that as well.
I got a bit of cringe. I got a bit of cringe listening to like the dialogue a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I also I was sitting with my friend, my housemate Adam, and I was kind of saying like, cool. This is something a bit different. So it's nice to see a wide range of stuff. But I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I mean.
Like it was just a trailer. It wasn't. You didn't see the gameplay, which is in that kind of. It's a cool visual to put as your first mark. But is the game that visual, or is that just the cutscenes which like that?
Yeah.
Who knows? Kind of. 2021, another console exclusive.
Excellent.
With that. I've just noticed. It didn't actually say it during the presentation, but on these YouTube videos, it says whether it's a console exclusive or whatever as well. So it's nice to see actually how many of them are, which is quite cool. Next up then is Oddworld. What was the name? What was its thing?
Soulstorm.
Oddworld Soulstorm?
Yeah.
Soulstorm.
I just remembered
that.
that.
My L there. Oddworld Soulstorm. Yeah. Do you have any history of Oddworld? Old.
I used to have like
Odyssey,
a friend who was obsessed with it, and I'm talking when I was like 7 or 8 or something, and I would go and play it on his PC, and I'd be like, oh, this is cool, and then I don't know, I just remember getting eaten by things all the time. Yeah, it looks pretty grim.
Amazing. Okay,
but also kind of like Lemmings.
Yeah,
so you said a little bit like Lemmings style.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It for sure gave me those vibes where you're leading your people from one side to the other type of thing to safety. Yeah, pretty interesting. I don't have any history of Oddworld, so for me it was kind of I was like, oh, cool. I'm glad that's their type of thing. And then we moved to Tokyo. Ghostwire Tokyo from Tango Gameworks, which I don't know. I think both of us kind of said maybe this was a bit of a.
Yeah, I thought this was a bit of a letdown because you remember when was it? Like 2 years ago.
I think it was E3 maybe E3
last year. It was the one with that woman came out, didn't she? And she was like super high energy.
Yeah, she's.
But am I right in saying she like left the studio like right after that? I think. Yeah.
Yeah, she was the lead. The creative director, I think, of it.
Because
or lead
I think I'm right saying my memory's not super great on it, but I'm pretty sure that what we saw was kind of like or like people were like disappearing or something. Like people would just be. It was one of those it was a really cool CG trailer, and the idea that it was Tokyo like modern day, but people were like just vanishing in like mid life, and then we saw this trailer just now, and it was like, oh, there's these sort of like 5 types of ghost phantoms that come at you, and then you kind of like
I
don't know. It just I don't know. I got kind of like a bad vibe of it.
Some of the intrigue or mystery kind of fell away, and it became a bit more.
It really didn't look like
just set in Tokyo.
Anything I'd really want to play.
And it was weird how it was in first person as well. They've historically done a lot of third person games. Another interesting fact though, it's a game with quite a bit of hype. Console exclusive for a limited time. Very interesting that. I wouldn't have thought we would have had that, but yeah. Is everything in this event console exclusive?
I'm just trying to think. Maybe. Well, I guess I'm guessing definitely. I'm guessing definitely
the trailers
from Arcane.
Let me just.
We'll
get there. Ghostwire Tokyo. So yeah, for both of us, I think a little disappointing when actually seeing the game in action, especially because that first CGI trailer, obviously it was a CG trailer, but it was sensational.
I mean, I'm like not disappointed because it looked like it was going to be like a weird horror thriller game anyway. It's just not really something I want to play, but this kind of just meant, okay, that sucks. But to be honest, if you like that genre of games, there's so many cool. Like we'll get onto this as well in a minute, but like if you're, for example, a Resident Evil fan, like this is like the best time ever for you. So, I think you've got games like that you can play.
Absolutely. Yeah. Then we moved into another indie game, which was from Super Brothers, which is it's called Jet: The Far Shore. Now this is a trailer which, if you're listening, I'd hugely recommend to watch again, even if you did watch the stream. Pump that up as loud as you can. It keeps they made a game called Sorcery and Sword, on iOS. And they also contributed to a load of music tracks for sugar. What was that really cool music game on PS3 and Vita?
Sound Shapes.
Where Sound Shapes, they contributed to a load of the levels in that as well. Very cool team. Very arty. Really distinctive kind of look. The iOS game kind of looks quite similar in style, but it looks as though it's kind of the planets that you're taking off the planet because maybe it's being destroyed, and you're flying off into space to try and you're shooting down probes, and you're kind of flying these probes around different planets. It looks as though maybe to try and find a hospitable planet, kind of interstellar-y style. I really like the kind of look and visuals of it. It gives you that kind of inside limbo-y feeling as well. And the music is sensational.
I got my like No Man's Sky filter up though on that, where I was like, yes, but what is the game? What are we doing in this game? Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, cool space game,
yeah, for sure.
What do I do?
No. Yeah, I totally get you. Again, at the end, console exclusive for a limited time. Very interesting, very interesting. So yeah, that's something I'm quite interested in. Then we had a game that's already been revealed, Godfall. And I won't lie, I kind of switched off whilst watching
it looks like third person slashy, looty kind of thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. It might be cool.
Yeah. I hope mechanically, if it's engaging and fun to play, then great. I'm sure it'll be. It looks like it's got quite a bit of visual flair to it.
Is it launch?
Cool.
I was going to say
yes,
it needs to be
launch.
launch, otherwise it's gonna get lost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the kind of game where it's good to have it at launch because it just gives it that bit of breath, whereas it might not normally get it, type of thing. Again, console exclusive for a limited time. What else we've got here? Right, next, Solar Ash. Now, this was by the guys that did Hyperlight Drifter, and it kind of seems like almost like a sequel to that. Very distinctive visual style. If you've seen Hyperlight Drifter, very kind of similar looking to that, kind of neon-y colors. Only a small little gameplay segment of her running around and then the kind of world flipping upside down. I don't think too much else to say from that. I've never really played those games as well, so.
Yeah. No, not really. It's kind of like, it looks cool.
Same.
I'm sure people will love it, but it's not really kind of my thing, I don't think.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's cool. Now, at this point I was thinking, well, we've had quite a few like indie-ish games, kind of side games, and then, boy, IO Interactive pop up, and it's Hitman, Agent 47's in a forest, killing some bad guys, looking cool while he does it. And then they come out and have a little conversation, and then they show like a tiny little snippet of gameplay.
No, it wasn't gameplay. I'm calling bullshit on this one. This was my one moment where I was like, that was not gameplay. It was like,
as in like
the second bit, it wasn't gameplay.
Okay, well, but it was like the camera panning at the beginning of a level.
Yeah. It could have been, but then it showed like
it was definitely that
Agent 47 like running past a gap, and I was like, well, you're not doing that, are you? That's not gameplay. For me, gameplay is like you're like
I see
showing someone moving the. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think that was gameplay. I thought that was a bit bullshit.
Right. So we saw. Yeah. Okay. We saw in engine, the game running in engine.
Yeah.
That's what we saw. That was the game running. It was definitely, because it didn't look glossy CG at all.
Yeah, okay, yeah. We saw the game running. I just don't think you call it gameplay when you're not actually like playing it and like walking through it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. My goodness though, regardless, I'm so excited for that. I love me some Hitman, and I can't wait to see the crowds.
Yeah.
I just want crowds and crowds of people for me to disappear in a Daffy Duck costume or something, and then kill someone by spiking their drink. Boy, oh boy. So that is coming. I think that was January 2021. Nothing mentioned there. That definitely won't be a console exclusive. Then we had a little bit of a UI with the PlayStation button.
Yeah.
I think. Did you think
there was like
maybe
a different sound as
saying?
well when it like went on? I was like, ooh, cool.
Yeah. Interesting there for sure. Then we moved to Astro's Playroom. Astrobot's back, little playing around, super cute. I saw at one point he had a PS1 controller in his hand because he's just so cool. Love me some Astrobot. Have no idea whether that is actually a PSVR game or not.
It'd be cool. It'd be cool if it wasn't, and it was like they were like bringing him around to be kind of like a new mascot-y thing. That'd be cool. If it was another like.
Yeah, because there is a on the VR. You have the Playroom, the kind of demo thing. Oh, this is Astro's Playroom. I've just seen in the trailer on YouTube at the end, Astro's Playroom preloaded in your PS5.
Oh, cool!
PlayStation exclusive. So that looks as though this maybe is your kind of pre-installed little demo fun. Maybe I think the other one you could do some multiplayer kind of type things in it. Very interested. Yeah, a fun little platform it's described as. So looks like it won't be VR then.
Yeah, I think it's cool because it was so good that it's almost like a shame that you could only play it if you did have the VR. Like,
yeah, one of the real gems from this generation. Next up then is Little Devil Inside.
This looks so weird and kind of. This was the one that was kind of funny, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was like edited in a really funny way. Very
when he was climbing down the rope and he dropped the bomb
on
the thing, and then the dude was on the toilet.
Yeah. He's like walking through like towns and then in a desert and then in going
like
through
climbing a
weird
mountain
landscapes with monsters and
kind of cool.
Yeah. Really, quite interesting. It piqued my interest for sure with that. I quite like the art style of those kind of games. Then we both grown.
Oh, it was this NBA, yeah.
And went sports. NBA 2K21. Look, we know sports games are massive and super popular, but they are the same thing every time, and that's why every time they show up to an event, it's kind of like whatever. I mean, sure, the guy looked good.
I think they should just sort of like they should just acknowledge that no one who's staying up to watch these events or like tuning in live is going, man, I can't wait for Madden or I can't wait for FIFA. I can't wait for like no one is doing that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just saw a comment on YouTube. Community, we want more realistic gameplay and less microtransactions. Ronnie, more sweat it is then. And then I think we had the biggest, I've got to say the biggest curveball of the lot. Bug snacks.
What's going on?
What? Yeah, I mean, look, they did say from the minds of Octodad Dadliot's Catch, which is a pretty fucking weird game anyway. But this took it to a new level. I mean, I just don't even know where to start. One of the characters has hot dogs as ears. He's got a cinnamon bun as his hair. He's got a hot dog as a nose. He's got hot dogs as hands. The mayor.
Yeah, it seems cool. I was kind of when I first saw it, I was like,
I'm not negative on this
like some kind of
I'm just so confused.
Almost like a Animal Crossing sort of thing where you have your village where like there's just a load of bugs that eat stuff and then turn into like a burger. But I don't know.
Yeah, everything's food. The crab is made out of apple slices.
It had its own. It had its own song.
Bonkers. Yeah. Madness. Looking for Holiday 2020 PS5 and PS4 console exclusive for a limited time. Quite a few of these games they have been on PS4 and PS5, although some have been only PS5 as well. And then our Lord and Savior Shuhei Yoshida came out and said he's excited for everything. He's head of indies now, so that's probably why I've seen quite a lot of those in this trailer, this event. And he said there was something very near and dear to his heart, and boom, we get into Demon Souls. It starts with the screen flashing up, I think, with Blue Point Games and Sony Studios, Blue Point.
I think
and
didn't it
Japan
finish?
because they're kind of working on this
Blue
together.
Point in Japan, because I don't think we saw who it was until the end. Because it was like,
Okay.
right,
The
cool,
YouTube
yeah.
trailer starts with
the
them.
live one.
So they might have re-edited it. Yeah, so we go through some really beautiful looking landscapes. I mean, look, Shadow of the Colossus remake by Blue Point is a pretty phenomenal looking game in its own right. But this, I'm pretty sure all of this is kind of CG in engine type hyped up cutscene stuff. But there's a lot of atmosphere.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
It looks really cool. I mean, that's just, I think, what you can say about it. It looks cool. I mean, the dragon at the end is ridiculous. And then just seeing that name come up as well. And that obviously is just a straight up PlayStation exclusive. Because I think there's something weird about that PlayStation actually own the IP of Demon Souls. But then Dark Souls is where, obviously, From Software have it all.
Cool.
So,
cool.
Demon Souls.
Yeah, it's just called
remastered.
Demon Souls. It didn't say remaster, it didn't say remake or anything like that. It just said Demon Souls.
Yeah, just Demon Souls. Yeah, pretty cool. I wonder how the community will react to it once it comes out, in how it feels. I know that Japan Studio, I think quite a few of them are like, they're quite like chummy almost with From Software, so I feel like there must have been some blessing from Software as well. So I'm intrigued. I'm really intrigued to see how it does, because Blue Point have got a great track record of remastering and remaking games, but this is a
huge deal
kind of question. Yeah. They said they've been working on it for years now. So yeah, exciting stuff. Getting toward the end now, just a couple of 4 games left. First up is Deathloop. Now, we had a CG trailer for this. It was either E3 last year or the year before, which is the new game from Arcane Leon, who Arcane Studios is the guy that did like Dishonored, and you definitely get a bit of Dishonored vibes in it with the movement of the characters, being able to warp to a place, and some of the kind of melee stabbing and stuff like that. I think this trailer had a pretty cool
I think this
vibe
was this was like quite a big surprise actually, because I remember seeing the CG trailer whenever it was and being kind of like, meh, not really my thing. But this actually was really a really cool trailer and got me kind of hyped on this, to be honest. I think they were almost it was almost edited to make it look kind of like a Tarantino film or something. And
yeah, definitely. And some of the visuals are almost a bit Clockwork Orangey as well, with some of the characters.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And it's another one of those things. It's like that same. It's the death loop kind of thing again. It's another kind of similar theme.
Yeah, you die, you come back, and you retry it. And I think they were saying the idea for the story was there's 6, I think, different people that the guy needs to kill before midnight, and I think that's then will break the loop, because I think you're on an island. From I remember from the story.
But there's someone coming to kill you every day or whatever. So.
Yes, there's like a resident assassin protector type person. Lots of abilities, lots of like chucking people from one side of the room, shooting them, chucking them away, and things like that. So I think there'll be I imagine there'll be some really cool videos of people mastering all the mechanics and flying through.
Yeah, it looked really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. That is, oh my goodness, that is a console exclusive for a limited time. Cool. Wow, they are really swinging at the fences with this. Big stuff. Then we have this was I thought this was a wicked trailer. So we got Resident Evil Village, not 8, Resident Evil Village.
It's Resident Evil 8.
Resident Evil 8. Yeah.
Man, I think if you like
thoughts, Chris?
Such a cool trailer. Like the visuals that are just getting like thrown at you constantly. I mean, the only problem is, I'm not a Resident Evil fan at all. Never really played any of the games. Imagine if you're a Resident Evil fan over the last like 5 years. Like, it must be like I said earlier. Like, oh my goodness, you had obviously 7 come out. You had the remakes of 2 and 3 that have done really well, and now, boom, have some of that.
Absolutely, it really cool, dark, dingy atmosphere. This is a game which has been leaked quite a bit over the last couple of months. So the name Village had already been thrown about, and the setting of kind of it's kind of Eastern European setting, which I think is quite cool because I think 7 was set in like Louisiana or somewhere like that, in a kind of swampland. So it's cool to see it go back to that kind of gothic-y European setting. Very, very cool trailer. Really strong visuals throughout. Looks like it's first person again.
Wonder if they'll do VR support like they did for 7.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain I've heard that they had a good return on it. Like they felt like there was good engagement with it. So there's nothing mentioned about it, but it would be nice to see that for sure. Coming 2021, no mention of console exclusives.
That the RE engine as well. Such a good looking engine for games to be honest.
Yeah, very I think you know when you see it as well. Werewolves involved, boy. There's a lot in this. Some old.
Yeah, it looks so cool.
I don't know what I'm talking about now. Oh, I just paused it. There's a shot where they're walking into like an old house, and it kind of looks like Resident Evil 1, and there's a massive chandelier. And I just paused it on the shot by mistake, and it looks phenomenal. So good. Wow. Okay, so second last game. This came out of absolutely nowhere. Pragmata, and a brand new Capcom IP, now in development for PS5. This is I don't know if there's any mention of console exclusive or anything like that. But yeah, so it starts with this kind of spaceman walking through New York City, and then he sprays stuff in the air and finds this little robot girl who has a robot cat. And then it kind of like almost what's the Jim Carrey film where you watch the whole time? Truman Show. Kind of Truman Show, not a light falling down, but like a satellite or something smashes through the
kind of like a fake
roof of the world
sky.
Yeah, like there's obviously some serious themes of kind of fake living with robots and holograms and stuff like that. And then they end up on the moon and they say this is a new start. Pretty wild. I mean, the hair on the girl looks a bit iffy, but everything else in it looks phenomenal. If you do watch the trailer, have a look at the reflections in the puddles in the New York section. It's pretty sensational looking. Very interested. I think that's again a 2022 that game, so still a while away. But new Capcom IP
could be another deep down.
Get excited.
Have you thought of that?
Could be another deep. Can you imagine if they managed to do PS4 Deep Down and then PS5 Pragmata? That would be wild. And then what we were all waiting for. Horizon Forbidden West is the sequel.
I was trying to look at this, by the way. I'm pretty sure it is Horizon 2 Forbidden West, because there was a 2 that came up in the.
There is a 2 in the picture. The YouTube thing says Horizon Forbidden West.
Well, regardless, silly name, bad name.
Silly name. Look, that series
But
has had silly names.
everything else, my gosh, it looks so cool. Just like a CG trailer thing, but damn.
Yeah, I have my some suspicions about this though. I'm very looking forward to Digital Foundry going through it with a comb. I have some weird feeling that this is in engine, obviously not gameplay, as we've kind of said. It's not gameplay, but I think like a lot of this that you see is going to be what the game looks like when you're playing. I don't know why. I've just got this feeling.
Mean, if it does, like, damn, because the trailer was absolutely outrageous.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk going into this about that Guerrilla Horizon, the next Horizon, was going to be really redefining what you think of graphics benchmarks of how good a game can look. And if there was so much of that talk and so many people saying that was going to be the case, that, man, if this is what it looks like when you're playing the game, then they've done that. Absolutely. This looks incredible. And the variety in the locations, you go to the beach kind of place that she's at, going underwater now, being up in the mountains again, being in deserts. It's got everything times 10 from the original game. Actually, I think the beach thing, I'm just looking here, I just realized there's the bridge structure, and it's the Golden Gate Bridge is where you're at. Yeah. So yeah, we're traveling west compared to where was the first game set? It was in America,
Seattle,
wasn't it?
Something like that. I can't.
I feel like, something like that. There's a moment in it as well when rewatching. It kind of does it. It says it comes up with this grandiose, huge shot over this beautiful, lush, jungly area with some new flying dinosaurs, robots. Comes up Horizon with the little 2 Forbidden West. And then boom, the bad guys come in. And it's Hannibal basically bringing in his war elephants. Those elephant robots
got proper Legolas vibes.
They look yeah. So cool. And she pulls a bow, bang, gorilla.
One thing that stressed me out. Two things that stressed me out from this this like trailery thing. Yeah. First was the name, because bad name. Second one, you know that awesome bit where she's like underwater and then the like robot alligator goes over her head, and then she's got like a full quiver of her full quiver of arrows in with her and stuff like that. And I was like, man, you can't be going underwater then using those arrows would be like flying all over the place. Like, I was like, come on.
Yeah, they're going to be no chance she's shooting underwater. You can't
be taking your arrows in the water. They're useless.
No chance. Useless. Man, I'm so excited. When do we think this game's coming out? There's no date.
I'm guessing mid.
They put this center stage. Like, this was what this show.
I'm guessing mid next year.
Mid next year. I like it. I think the original game was like a February.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that soon.
February or March. So no. Yeah. That would be nice, actually. That would be nice. Very excited. I wonder, it's interesting because am I right in thinking Horizon Zero Dawn actually means something? It's not like a semicolon, is it? It's actually something.
Yeah, well,
in the
game.
Zero
Dawn was like the project that her mum was working on or something, and it was about trying to make sure humanity survived the virus or whatever. I can't remember really, but.
Yeah, so like restarting the world after it had been wiped out, kind of on purpose almost. Yeah, interesting stuff. Very excited for that. Guerrilla shooting on all cylinders with that trailer. And then we got the box, and that's it. That is the event. So yeah, Chris, any extra thoughts? Anything you want to ruminate over?
I don't think so. I was, like just the sheer amount of games we got showed off was just so impressive.
Yeah.
I think probably looking back through them, I'm like, maybe like there's not too many that I'm like super, super excited for that I would be like, oh, I'd buy that day one. But obviously, you know, stuff in there like Horizon Forbidden West, and like the Spider-Man, whatever that is. I'm not looking at the Gran Turismo made me think, man, I've really missed having a good driving sim stuff like that. So actually, like, it kind of awoke a lot of old sort of feelings of like, oh man, I'd love that. I'd love to play like the Sackboy game. There's so much stuff in there that is going to be great to have, and it's just me cool to see some like extended gameplay stuff, to see what the difference is that the PS5 can do, I guess.
And I think no doubt the Guerrilla Games people said we're so excited to show you more about this soon. So no doubt I think we'll get, like Sony's been doing with Last of Us 2 and Ghost of Tsushima, that kind of extended deep dive into the game. I imagine that'll be the next time we see it, will be some sort of proper gameplay section of the game. I think I think when you look at this, you see some really big standout names, but it's not like every single game is a massive AAA game. But when you look back and you compare the PS4 reveal to this, and the PS4 reveal was already considered like a pretty decent reveal. Like it wasn't perfect or anything, but people were like generally, that was pretty good. We're quite excited. I think this is sensational compared to that.
Easily
showing the smorgasbord of variety of games that we'll be playing all of these within the next 2 years or so. I think it's very exciting stuff. And look, this is the beginning. I mean, you look at some of the games that started at the beginning of the PS4, and then you look at where we're now with the PS4. I think if we're already at such a high caliber of game, it seems, that I think a lot of what they've been saying previously about trying to make it as easy for developers to get to work on the games and start getting results really well. I think you're seeing that exactly in some of these trailers. Very exciting time to be a PlayStation fan,
sure.
I'd say.
Absolutely.
Chris, how do we normally finish a podcast?
We have some unfinished business, which is the bets. Now, last time that we recorded, we decided that we would look at Dreams. We would go to the Dreams website, which is indreams.me, and on that website there is a counter for how many people are playing online right that second. And so what we said we'd do is we would go online, see how many people are, and we'd guess about who would get closer. Yeah? Now, have you gone onto it?
Yeah.
Are you looking? Okay, cool. Don't worry.
No,
I've got it. So, you guessed that there would be 1,812 people, and I guessed there would be 1,669. Currently playing Dreams, there are 1,745.
What did I say?
So, I've done the maths. Now, this was... We agreed as well, this was for double points. Okay, because the bet before we didn't do. So, I did the maths. Basically, your bet is 67 away, and my bet is 76 away. So this is easily the closest one we've ever done. But you beat me by 9 people playing. Actually, not even 9. It would be like 5 people, wouldn't it? I guess with the way it works. So you were 5 people. If 5 less people had played Dreams, I'd have won.
That is sensational. I can't believe how close.
The thing is, I think we looked. Yeah,
we took informed guess at the time, but we were recording in the afternoon.
I was really surprised
last time.
When I logged on. I was like
super
surprised. And the other thing, I looked at it. I looked at it like before we started recording, and the number was like a bit over what you guessed. And then as we were recording, I like was hitting refresh, and it was like getting lower and lower. I was like, "Come on!" But it didn't do it in time.
Come on, keep going.
So
amazing.
What I thought we'd do now is obviously we need to pick our bet for next time. And I've got two choices basically with what we could bet on. Okay, because firstly, obviously we've had the huge reveal of the PlayStation 5, and I thought what a cool bet would be to look at the PlayStation's YouTube video revealing the box, and sort of try and guess how many how many views it would have.
How many views it
But I did think next time we record, we might be in the realm of Last of Us 2 reviews.
Well, I think technically we're in the realm of Last of Us 2 reviews in the next
so should we go with Last of Us reviews?
They are.
I'm pretty sure
today.
I'm pretty sure in the past we've actually written down our future I've got it here, dude.
Perfect.
Should we just use
this? We just use that then? Let's tell me what it is, just in case we want a little last minute.
So amendment. I said that it would be. I think we also said this would be on OpenCritic, yeah. Okay, so mine was 91.
Always OpenCritic.
And you guessed 96.
Yeah. Wow.
We also did this for Ghost of Tsushima, so we can do this again when we get to it. But this is on episode 23. So, do you want to stick with that?
Okay. Yeah, because then if it's 95, 92, 90...
It works, doesn't
93. It? Yeah, that means there's no middle ground is what I was trying to go for. Let's stick with it. I'm confident that Naughty Dog are on a roll. They are all the reviewers are gonna jerk all over them and say they're the greatest studio on the planet. And what a great swan song this is for the PS4. Just like they did with Last of Us 1, they're doing it again.
So that's locked in. We've got the bets. We're done.
Yep. Fantastic. Good stuff. Well, thank you very much for listening to this very special episode of Bomb Squad. Do go check out our website at indreamsclub.com, and also our other our film and television and every now and then book and extras podcast, Realize. Definitely go check that out.
We'll be having
soon.
Oh yeah, were you going to say sorry?
Yeah. I was just about to say, no, it's going to be soon. We will be covering The Dark Knight, the second film in the Nolan.
Very excited for that. Very excited for that. We will also very soon have, or soon-ish, not sure which will come first, but we will have The Witcher TV series.
Oh, yes. We recorded this a long time ago, but there's just been a few technical hiccups. So that's very soon we will have that.
Super exciting. I think Jez and Tom are with us for that as well. So
good stuff. Well, thank you very much, as always, for listening. Thank you, Chris, for joining me on this very emotional roller coaster type night. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hello and welcome to Bomb Squad. We have a very